Hey, BookMattic lifelong learners, believe it or not, it has been 6 months since I've given an update on Moreland University and the University of the People update of my Master's of Education program and Teaching Certification program. So I thought, well, now is the best time as any to give this update because I'm coming down to the very end of my Moreland University teacher certification program. I've only got 1 month left until it's done. It basically ends at the very beginning of March. And right now it's the end of January. So yeah, pretty much just a month left, which is really exciting. And so in this video today, I'm going to give you some details about that program, what has happened in the past 6 months, just a little summary of it, in case those of you out there are watching this and you're either part of the program right now, maybe you have completed that program already, or maybe you want to take the program and want more information about it. So this video will be perfect for those people who have taken part of that program. Okay, so or will take part of it, let's say. All right, and then also for University of the People, my Master's of Education program, I'll just talk a little bit about my experience so far with that, some of the problems that I've had, and also some of the successes that I've had with that, and just give you a bit of an update. And then at the very end, I will explain a little bit about whether these programs are actually worth taking or not. So make sure you stick towards the end of the video and to get that opinion of mine, whether it's worth it and the benefits of it and the downfalls of it. So stay tuned for the end and enjoy the video. Oh yeah, I mean, time flies when you're working hard on all this stuff. I can't believe that it's been 6 months since I released that last video, which I will link up here or earlier in the video. I'll link up there. You can check it out. So in the last 6 months for Moreland University, the teacher preparation program, basically, I feel like the program has given me a lot of like busy work. Some of it has been very valuable for me, and other of it has been kind of like review because I've been teaching for the past 10 years, 11 years almost. So a lot of it has been kind of review, but basically what they cover in these lessons that we do online, and you can watch that video that I mentioned earlier that kind of gives you a summary of what the program is and how we go about doing it. I'm not going to explain it in this video, but yeah, basically we go over like how to create lesson plans, and we create lesson plans and people review those lesson plans. And then another thing is like how to do assessments and what types of assessments there are. They have us do like several different exercises for that, and we rate each other's assessments. And then also, of course, we talk about diversity in the classroom, whether that's from race or culture or religion. We talk about, several aspects of that and how to go about dealing with that in the classroom. And then also the different types of technologies that we use. So we experiment with using different technologies with the different exercises that we have during the lessons that we do online, and how to manage the class well, how to develop a plan for management, and how to have like classroom norms, and what to do with certain situations where maybe the students are not really following you that well. What do you do with the difficult students? What do you do with the really good students who maybe are getting bored and stuff like that in the class? How do you adapt to that? So yeah, there's a lot of useful lessons in there that, especially for a new teacher, someone who doesn't have any experience whatsoever, or maybe just a year or two experience in front of students, these lessons are absolutely valuable because you're going to be placed in a cohort of like, 10, 12 other people. And a lot of these people maybe have been teaching for 10, 15, 20 years, maybe even, right? And then you can learn from those people. You can learn from all the advice that they have, because there's a lot of talking every single week. you meet up once for like an hour, and there's a lot of sharing and talking. So yeah, definitely valuable for new teachers, more so than experienced teachers. But even with experienced teachers, you can still learn something new. You can always learn something new, even from someone that hasn't been teaching long. So that's that part. So this program is a total of 9 months. The last 3 months is what we call the clinical practice. And in this clinical practice, it's basically like the culmination of everything, the accumulation of all the lessons that you've done. And in this clinical, you have to do like recordings of your lessons at the school that you're actually teaching at. So right now I'm in the last part of that clinical, and with the recordings, like basically you have to edit your video down to like 15 to 20 minutes for most of the videos, except for the last video, which should be like 20 to 30 minutes. And what we do with those videos is we share that with our cohort. We have to have a mentor, either from the school that we're at, or Moreland can assign a mentor. And the mentor basically is the one that we have our little meetings with outside of the cohort. This person shouldn't be even involved in the cohort, basically. And so we have these meetings. The mentor watches your videos, they give you feedback, and we like basically discuss the next step that needs to be taken. And you try to take their advice and you try to implement it in the following videos. So each video should potentially get progressionally better, right? So yeah, that's basically what the clinical is just the videos that, and there's 5 of them total. So it's a spread out throughout that 3 months, at the last 3 months of the program, 5 videos. So it sounds scary at first, but when you break it down, 5 videos out of 3 months is not too bad, right? So yeah, the program hasn't been all that hard for me. It just feels like there's a lot of busy work here and there, like prepping you to do the clinical at the end of the program. And whether this will actually help me during the licensure process, which is the last thing, whether like going through this program will help me to actually get that, because there's like a test involved with that. I think the praxis test that you have to do. Maybe this knowledge will help. Maybe it won't. I'm not sure exactly, because I haven't taken the test yet. So, you know, a month or 2 down the line, I will make another update video after I've actually finished the program and I've gone out there and I got the license. So that's what the next video will be about when I make the next video for this series of videos talking about the praxis and my progress with that. Other than the clinical, there's also like a leadership project that we have to do, and that is something that you implement at your school. So for example, if you're an English teacher, you could create a book club for your school. If you're a PE teacher, maybe you could create like a track team if your school doesn't already have one. Yeah, you could do like, I'm actually doing a business week, which, you know, is like a pre-assigned event at my school that I have to do. But luckily, I'm already interested in business, so it really is a good thing that I got assigned that, because I can use that as my project because I'm the lead on it. And so you have to produce like all the documents that you've done, maybe videos that you've done, and maybe student work that you've done for this leadership project. And the other thing that we have to do for Moreland is a portfolio. So basically we piece together some of the best exercises that we've done throughout the 8 different modules, the 9 months that we're doing the program. And there's 2 more things. The other one is a standards presentation, about 10 minutes. You have to present and create some activities for your cohort. And this takes place during your weekly meetings together. And the last one is case study. So you have to pick a student that maybe you've been struggling with and produce like a 7-minute video, and then have a cohort discussion during the weekly meeting for about a half an hour-ish. And then they give you feedback and suggestions and stuff like that. So that's the Moreland, the Teach Now teaching certificate program, summed up in a nutshell. And yeah, make sure you stay tuned to the last part of this video. I'll tell you whether that's worth it or not. And right now we're going to move on to the University of the People section of this video. So in the last part of this series, I talked about University of the People just a little bit, because I had only been taking the program for like maybe a month or less. And so, yeah, it's been 6 months since then. And unfortunately, I have to say, last term, I had to take it off, which was like a couple months ago, from like November to like January. I had to take it off because my own mistake. I was not able to make it into any of the courses because surprisingly, like they fill up so fast. So even if you just wait like 4 days after the registration is open, it's potential that you won't be able to make it into a class. Actually, there was a bunch of classes open, but I had already taken 4 of them. And so I was looking for courses that I had not taken yet, but the ones that I hadn't taken yet were already taken, filled up, full, couldn't get in. So the last 3 months or 2.5 months or so have been off, which actually has given me more time to focus on the Moreland, the Teach Now program, which is good. It's a benefit, right? So I'm glad to be able to, this term, I have registered for another 2 courses. So that's another 6 credits down, which is great. 6 credits towards the total of my Master's of Education program. So one of the key tips here is make sure you mark it on your calendar, send up a notification or something, take a picture of the university calendar, and make sure you get in there on the first day to make sure that you are actually able to get into a course that you haven't taken yet. So that's a big tip and a mistake that I personally made. So just to give you a little bit of an idea about how many classes does it take to like get your Master's of Education? Well, there's 13 classes total for the secondary Master's of Education, which is about 30, I think 36 credits. I personally have already finished 4 classes, 12 credits already down. So I'd probably expect to be done around maybe November or January. And so some of the classes that I've taken so far is curriculum design, which was nice, talking about all the curriculum, how to, design it in a way that is beneficial for the students. And then the other class that I took was creating positive classroom environments. And that's really good for classroom management, talking about behavior, and all those good things that, or unexpected things maybe that might happen in your class. The next one was learning theory, which was really good because it talks about neuroscience, and I love neuroscience. I really love to learn how our brain works, and that class talked a lot about that. And then the last class that I've actually finished is educational philosophy and society. And that one really introduced me to a lot of educational philosophers. John Dewey, one of my favorites. I've read a few of his books since the last video. And I feel like that class, just alone for the recommendations of authors, is great. You can learn a whole lot from that class. And this current term, I am taking Understanding Barriers to Learning. I'm in the first week right now. And so it talks a lot about diversity and race and stuff like that so far. let's find out, in the next couple weeks, the rest of the 8 weeks that I have remaining, what else will be in store for this class. So far, I like it. It's good. And the last class, or the second class that I'm taking for this term, is assessment and evaluation. And this one, well, I'm not too excited about, but I think it's an area that maybe I need to work on. Because, yeah, I mean, assessments, sometimes they can be boring, but you can find ways to make them interesting, to make assessments very effective as well. So I'm hoping to learn more about that during this course, and hopefully I can implement it. A lot of these things in University of the People, a lot of them are theories. Even for the like practical work, like classroom management and assessments, like you think, okay, that's practical, like we learn about this and then we implement it. But yeah, a lot of it's theories. So we have to turn those theories into action and actually experiment with them. So that's what I've been doing over these past courses, is just trying to get that knowledge here and then see what I can do with it and try to implement it, and see how well it works and just experiment with it. So after this term, I will have completed 6 classes, which means that I only have 7 more classes to go. So like I said earlier, I'll probably be done like November or January, which is exciting. It's going along smoothly. Maybe one of the terms after I finish the Teach Now program, I'll probably take 3 courses in one term. So that's 9 credits, right? Which will be quite a heavy load, but I want to be able to get done with this program as soon as I can, just so that I have it under my belt. I have that certificate. I say, hey, Matt Hudson, M.Ed. Perfect. It will be great to have that at the end of my name. And yeah, just a really good feeling, a good accomplishment, a lot of knowledge and practical information that I can apply in my business and my teaching career. So the burning question is, are these programs worth it? For Moreland Teach Now teaching certification program, I feel like if you are teaching in the United States, it will probably be more worth it than if you're teaching abroad. But more and more so often, international schools abroad in Indonesia specifically, I'm not sure about other countries, but in Indonesia, they are looking for qualified teachers for international schools, the legit ones. There are schools that call themselves international schools, but are not really legit, and they're not very strict about it. So I would say if you get one of those schools and they're not strict about your qualifications, then it's maybe not the best school to work at. So I would say even for an international person working abroad, this teaching certification program is probably worth it. For the price, I would say it's a bit spendy, and they could probably lower the price a little bit. But knowing that they have instructors and they have to pay those instructors, and they might have to pay for their platform or whatever. Yeah, I guess the price is justified, but the amount, I guess we do get quite a lot of knowledge, especially for a new teacher. So if you want to get your teaching certification, your license, I should say, you need to take a teaching certification program. It's a requirement. There's a lot of other teaching certification programs out there. I did a lot of research. I found like 4 or 5. Some of them are very cheap, like a third the cost of Teach Now, Moreland University, but they didn't seem very inclusive. It seemed like they give you all this material to study and they just let you study it on your own. It's like a big book that you receive or something like that. And then that didn't really seem appealing to me. I wanted to have that interaction. And I think that Moreland is really good with that interaction aspect. You get a bunch of different instructors every single unit. Uh, and that really helps, like, especially if you don't like one of the instructors, they will switch out after a couple weeks, except for the last unit, module, not unit. That instructor you get stuck with for the last 3 months. So hopefully you like that instructor. But the key point here is when you're going through the program, you're going through the program to get your teaching license. So you just got to get through the material. You just got to do your best and pass with a proficient. So just put in your effort, whether you like the instructor or not. You just got to put in the effort. You just got to do the assignments. You just got to do well. That way, when it comes down to the time of licensure, you can get it. You got the certificate to prove it. And then you can go get a qualified job, a good job, right? So my verdict is, if you want to teach at a really good school, international school, or anywhere in the US, then go through this program. But of course, then again, I haven't finished the program yet, so I don't know what it will be like when I actually apply for that licensure from the state of, or the Washington, D.C. is where I'm applying. And actually, Moreland is really good with their admin. Like, if you have questions, you can email. Also, the CEO, the founder of Moreland University, is very kind. You can actually email her too, and she will reply. I've seen some of my cohort members have done that. I personally haven't done that yet. But if I want to, I have the option. And she replies with details about what you need, and they try to do their best to help you with your licensure, because you're paying for the program, you're paying for their services to help you get that license. So I'm glad that they're there to help you along the way, and they have so many resources to help you. They have so many people to help you. I can't say enough good about that aspect of the program. And that's the most important aspect, is that you're gonna get your license. Because without that, like, you could go through the program and pay them that amount of money. It's $6,000 is what I paid. You can pay them that amount of money, and then if you get nothing, like if you don't get the licensure, it makes the program not even worth it. So licensure is the most important thing, right? So yeah, that's my verdict on Moreland. And my verdict on University of the People so far, since right now I'm in my third term that I've taken classes. So I still have a little way to go, but so far it's been very repetitive, so to say, because each week you get discussion, you get writing paper, you get portfolio that you have to put together each week. You get same assignments. The content just changes a little bit. And it's all the assignments are writing. There's no videos, nothing like that at all, except for when you come to your capstone project, which I believe is like you have to submit like an audio recording. I don't think they require video. It's an audio recording of you talking about your portfolio for like 15 minutes. But that's like one of the last courses that you have to do. And so that's one of the suggestions that they give throughout the courses, is that you are putting together your portfolio as you go through the courses. That way you pull together like resources from your courses, things that you've learned, things that you've implemented. That way, when it comes down to that capstone project, you're able to do it well, and they require you to use Evernote for that. So anyway, so far I have found the course materials to be beneficial. I personally love reading books. They've got lots of books to read, and it's actually all free, provided through the university. So you don't have to pay a dime for any books at all. unless you want to. Like I bought some John Dewey books, and that was just out of my own pocket because I was curious and I wanted to read more. So that it's like it's so cheap. The program, it's like I think like 3,500 or like $4,000 or something like that. So the whole program is really really cheap, and so you do get value for the money that you pay. For some people, it may not work that well because it's not a very interactive program. Yes, you're writing messages and analyzing other people's writing, other people in the same course as you, but like you're not interacting that much. So it's not a very interactive course like Moreland is, where you actually get to see the people through Zoom. But the content is valuable, and you get to read a lot and you get to write a lot. So I think for me, it's very valuable and it's worth it so far, especially at the end when you get that paper. That would be totally worth it. And I've kept all the writing and all the notes and all the journals and the PDFs and the books that I've downloaded. I've kept all of them. So if I ever want to return to those, I can, just pull it right back up. I've got it right on my laptop. And yeah, it's good. It's good. It's like I've been so used to learning on my own for the past 6 years, just reading like whatever I wanted to. But this course, this M.Ed program, it provides structure. It gives you suggestions of what you should be learning in order to design curriculum, or to lead a class, or to learn about neuroscience, and learn about educational philosophy, whatever else the courses that you're taking. And you can dive deeper into those. And like I've learned a whole lot just from exploring on my own after taking the course, diving into topics that I want to dive deeper into. So it has made me a better learner. And I think it will for you too, if you end up taking the course. So, or the M.Ed program, you know what I mean? So yeah. So that wraps up the video for today. I hope that you found value in this, like talking about these two different programs. And if you are taking these programs, either of them, the Moreland one or the University of the People program, let's exchange notes. If you're considering about taking them, make sure you check out that previous video that I made. And I will also make another one in the future after I've finished that Moreland program. So maybe in another 2 months or so, I'll make another. So you can stay tuned and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell as well. That way, when I do release that video, you can see it, you can watch it. Please visit and comment your ideas on the program. If you've taken it, tell me what you think of it. Okay. So yeah, and if you have any other questions about it, you can for sure let me know. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.